I don't know why everybody's freaking out about Chipotle having an E. coli uh, episode in one of its stores. If you serve fresh food, you're going to have occasional problems, just statistically speaking. If you have real food, real fresh food, bacteria will want to eat it. So, which restaurants don't have E. coli problems? The restaurants that serve fake food, dead food, pasteurized, processed, chemically laced food that even bacteria really doesn't want to eat it. You can buy a McDonald's cheeseburger and set it on the shelf for about 10 years. It won't even change. I mean, after it dries out and shrivels up, it'll just stay like that, like a fossilized McDonald's cheeseburger. Nothing wants to eat it. So why should you, right? E. coli won't even eat that hamburger. So why should you? You have to keep all this in mind. The FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, believes that the only safe food is dead food. This is true. This is their whole philosophy. The only safe food is dead food. And that's why they love pasteurization, which kills a lot of, well, I shouldn't say kills, it destroys a lot of the phytonutrients that are medicinal. It destroys the proteins of fruit juices and vegetable juices and a lot of drinks. Pasteurization alters the chemical composition of what you're drinking. It reduces the nutritional quality substantially. Pasteurization is the way the food industry destroys the quality of the food so that bacteria don't want to eat it. And then they call it safe. Well, okay, it's safe in the sense that it doesn't give you an E. coli infection, but is it really safe if it's causing diabetes long term? Because now you've destroyed the nutritional content. Now you've broken down some of the sugars. You've increased the glycemic index of that juice. You've really taken a beverage that might have been healthy and you've turned it into a junk food by pasteurizing it. But the FDA just doesn't want people to die right now, because they would get blamed for that. If somebody just keels over after drinking a bottle of carrot juice at the grocery store, that's going to get someone's attention. Oh my God, they drank the carrot juice, now they're dead. They're going to link those two things together. Carrot juice equals dead. Oh my God. They don't want you to die from things that can be traced back to them, you see. They don't mind if you die slowly over the long term by chronically consuming things that will kill you. Oh, have a Diet Coke today and tomorrow and the next day and the next day. Let that aspartame eat your brain. And let the acidity destroy your bones and destroy your immune system so that you get pneumonia and you die from the flu one year, but you can't really trace it back to the can of Coke, can you? Because there was really nothing directly in that can of Coke that killed you. No, it was the buildup over time that led to your death or led to your diabetes or your cancer or your Alzheimer's or whatever you're dealing with, heart attack, stroke. This is the key. This is why they put iodine in salt. They put just enough iodine in salt to make sure that you don't have obvious problems with iodine deficiency that are grabbing attention in society, because that would look bad. But they don't put enough iodine in there to prevent breast cancer or prostate cancer or protect your thyroid, boost thyroid function, and so on. They just put just enough to make sure that there aren't a bunch of people walking around with iodine deficiency problems, and big ugly shapes on their neck. They just don't want you to notice that you're being killed by the foods too quickly, you see. This is how the FDA really works. So when I read that Chipotle, okay, they have an E. coli outbreak. Well, number one, E. coli is usually not fatal. I'm not saying it's a good thing. Obviously, we want to reduce E. coli outbreaks in food preparation. But at the same time, where else do you find this stuff? Well, salmonella is all over the fresh chicken that you buy at the grocery store. Something like 70-80% of the chicken there is contaminated with salmonella. And that's fresh food. And if you take that home and you chop up that chicken on your cutting board, and then you use the same cutting board for your vegetables, your salad, for example, you're transferring salmonella to your fresh salad. Well, they don't ban the sale of fresh chicken because it's all contaminated with salmonella. No, they try to teach people to act responsibly, to wash your hands, use a different cutting board, cook the chicken. Don't eat raw chicken right out of the grocery store unless you want a salmonella sandwich. They try to educate people to just be intelligent the way you deal with food. Unfortunately, that doesn't always work because people aren't too bright sometimes around food. They don't understand how bacteria contamination really works. Nevertheless, this gets me to the subject of raw milk. The FDA has criminalized raw milk. People have been arrested, thrown in jail for it. They've had their food seized, raided by SWAT teams in California, gunpoint. Yeah, thrown in jail because they sold raw milk. Well, what is raw milk? It's real milk. It's whole milk, milked from the cow. Raw milk is what baby cows drink from the cow, right? Raw human milk is what baby infants drink from their mother's breasts, right? You don't pump your breast and then pasteurize it and then feed it to your baby. That would be insanely retarded, right? But that's what the FDA does with all the rest of the food supply, including milk from cows. So what's the problem with raw milk? Well, they say, it could be contaminated. It could have bacteria in it. Well, wait a minute. Isn't it supposed to have some good, friendly bacteria in it? Isn't that called probiotics? Don't we go to the store and even buy probiotics so we can have good bacteria? Isn't some of the bacteria in milk good bacteria? Of course it is. But they don't want you to have that. No. They want to pasteurize that milk. And then they want to homogenize it. And why do they homogenize it? So it doesn't separate. The fats have to be homogenized so that they stay in molecular suspension with the rest of the milk liquid so that it looks like it's healthy for you. It looks like it's all good milk. Even though it's not. Even though it's modified. Now it's artificial. Now it's dead. Now, guess what? The lactase enzyme that helps you digest lactose has been destroyed by the pasteurization process, meaning you're drinking milk with lactose, but without the lactase enzyme. And what does that cause? Lactose intolerance. Now you have an allergy to milk because it's been modified, because it's been altered in a way that makes it a toxin instead of a nutritious beverage. And why is all of this done? Because the milk industry wants to maintain its monopoly. Oh yeah, gotta have their monopoly. You can't have small local farmers selling fresh milk. No, my God, that would be the end of civilization. We gotta keep our monopoly, the corporate milk producers, the mechanized teat squeezers who want to milk not just the milk from the cows, they want to milk the consumers with their milk monopolies. And they want to make sure that monopoly is enforced at gunpoint by the FDA, so that if anybody out there has a crazy idea of milking a cow and selling that milk, because, oh my God, nothing is more scary in human history than milking a dang cow and selling that milk, then the FDA is going to come cracking down on you with freaking AR-15 rifles in your face, taking your money, throwing you in jail, calling you a criminal because you had the balls to milk a cow and sell the milk. Even though this is done all over Europe, they have raw milk vending machines. Even though this is done all over Central America, South America, Canada, most of Asia, all the world, you can milk a cow and sell the milk, but not in America. Oh, no. You are a criminal, a food criminal in violation of the FDA. That's how insane it is. So they try to scare you with all these stories about Chipotle. The E. coli outbreak. And they try to scare you with, some story, some person somewhere with a weakened immune system that was damaged by chemotherapy drank some raw milk and died. Well, obviously the raw milk is the problem. They don't tell you they were already immunocompromised by vaccines or chemo or something else. But they want to scare you into compliance with their dead food agenda. And what does dead food lead to? Well, of course, a dead population. Dead people. Not quite dead, mind you. They don't want you to die until they can bill Medicare and Medicaid for your health interventions. That's the key. They want to keep you alive just long enough to stick some more needles in you, put some more drugs in you, do a rectal exam, whatever they can do to bill it to Medicare, Medicaid, or your private insurance company. Run another MRI, run another CAT scan, whatever it takes. Keep you on that machine. You're breathing. There's a heartbeat. You're alive. They can bill for you. Yep. They don't really want you to die right away because there's a lot of money to be made off you, especially in those late stages of cancer when you need those experimental cancer drugs. Yep, about $20,000 a month for an experimental cancer drug that they're going to make available to you because they are compassionate. So you get to hand over your entire life savings, all that you've worked for another 4 months of suffering under some horrible cancer chemo drug that they probably know doesn't really work, but what the hell? You're willing to pay for it. They're going to sell you some promises. Take your money and give it the shots. I want to keep you alive just long enough to extract every last dollar that you ever earned in your life, working for the system, working for the corporations, while they were denying you access to real food, real nutrition, and real medicine, and even real money for that matter. Oh, how dare you buy gold and silver? You should get more of this paper money. This is the good stuff. Yeah, the paper money's good, just like that homogenized milk is good. That pasteurized stuff, that's real food, that's good stuff. Go to McDonald's, get yourself some processed factory-made food, just like our factory money and our factory banking system, called Fiat Currency, Inc. You see, that's how the system works. It's all about extraction. Taking from you everything that you've worked for before you die, and if that's not good enough, don't worry, there's a death tax too. So you die, they take their chunk before you can even pass it on to your children. So they're going to get you one way or another. They're going to get you. They got their hooks into you. They got their dead food into you. They got their drugs into you. They got their vaccines into you. If you let them, they'll take you for everything you got. And that's the truth about food safety and the FDA. All right, I'll be back after this break. You're listening to the Health Ranger Report here on TalkNetwork.com, totally unscripted, but completely true. All right, we'll be back after this break with more.